Swaay.Health.
Hey everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder of Swaay.Health. We're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in healthcare marketing. And our guest today is Tim Busche. He's co-founder, president, and CEO at Envision Health. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks, John. Happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you here to celebrate the fact that you won the 2025 Swaay.Health Agency of the Year award. Okay, we always love to bring our award winners on and learn from, the experts in this. But before we dive in there, tell us a little bit about yourself and Envision Health.
Yeah, thanks, John. So I'm the co-founder of Envision Health. We've been in business about 10 and a half years. My partner is Kelly Smith. She's a nurse with an MPH from the University of Michigan. We wanted to create something unique and not like the others. And I've typically been the head of marketing at, healthcare IT companies. Kelly's worked in healthcare as well for 25 years before founding Envision Health. And so I've kind of got the MBA business experience. She's got the clinical side covered. But really now we have this robust team of expert SMEs in each of their respective competencies. And we've been able to build this sort of amazing agency with a really great culture at the same time, which I think is unique.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, obviously, congratulations on the win, but tell me, I have to ask, I always love to hear from our award winners. How did it feel to win the 2025 Swaay.Health Agency of the Year award?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think from an agency owner perspective, it was amazing and thrilling. But objectively, just sort of imagine if you risk everything and people were questioning what I was doing, like, and Kelly too. I mean, you guys have perfectly good careers, no reason to throw them away. And um, but then we invited some of our most trusted and respected friends and colleagues to join us on the journey. And so people like Paul Henchy, Larry Uhas, Sean Hickey, agency guy, helped create our logo for free, basically. Lee Hansen, David Nelson. So any of our healthcare IT clients today would love to have a team of experts like that on the bench and just sort of trusted advisors. So it's really, at an emotional level, we're ecstatic, but it's, objectively, it's really not the Tim and Kelly show anymore. And I think that this is evidence of that. And we've got people on our team that have been with us for 6.5, 7 years. So Marina Wooster, Tracy Osentoski, Sven Gustafson, Michelle Hornberger. I don't want to leave people out, but the award is validating not just for us, but for all these people that have come along on this journey with us.
Yeah, well, it is interesting to see the evolution. I remember when we first went to that Italian mill in Atlanta, I don't know, a decade ago or so, a little less.
Yeah,
But, when you just were starting, right? And we were having that conversation about your vision.
yeah,
It's amazing to see how far you've come. And I think the other interesting, as the organizers of this award, it's always interesting to see what people submit to the awards, right? And many of them submit year over year,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
and we put it to the panel of judges, and while we're emotionally invested,
right,
like we
right.
kind of want different people to win or different things, but at the end of the day, we're like, well, it's the judges. The judges decide this, right? And
Yeah,
whoever they decide is who they decide. And so, I was excited for you all to win after, I know you'd submitted a number of times, and
yeah,
that, it takes effort to submit. So I'm excited for you and your organization. And it seems fitting that you would recognize all the people that get you there. That
yeah.
says something about you and Kelly, I'm sure.
Thank you, John. Yeah, it's just incredibly validating. So our friends don't question us about our career choice anymore. Is the bottom line, which is good. That's also good side benefit.
Yeah, now you just bring them on board. I see.
Now we hire them, right?
They want to do the same. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've had that as well. That's interesting. Well,
yeah.
let's shift gears a little to some of your expertise and experience. Talk to us about your thoughts regarding the convergence of B2B healthcare marketing and PR agencies. I think that I always love it. If you're a PR person, then marketing is a subset of PR, and if you're a marketing person, PR is a subset of marketing. But talk to us about this convergence and what you guys see.
Yeah, yeah, and I think for us, the great thing about Envision Health is people ask us all the time, are you more of a marketing firm or more of a PR firm?
Hmm.
And we say we're more of a solve clients' problems firm.
Mm.
It's about the strategy. It's not about the set of tools that we choose to pick up for the job. And I have a ton of respect for traditional PR firms. And the reality is, there has been a shakeout in media. So, due to a lot of things, as you know, there's fragmentation more than any before. There's AI. There's the revenue loss of subscription models that used to work 10 years ago. They don't work today anymore. And media folks are being asked to do more with less. And more traditional media, more digital, more experts, more eyeballs, more responses. And they're almost being measured like traditional marketing firms have been measured in the past, the journalists themselves. So it's created this sort of like tension, I think, and it's impacted the agencies as well. Everything trickles downhill. So agencies, PR agencies now have to be more accountable than ever before. They have to like understand both the business of healthcare and the delivery of healthcare, which they hadn't been asked to do that before. So in fairness, how would they know? And so we're seeing this maturation of a market segment at the same time, and that's when convergence tends to happen. And we're seeing it. Clients are asking for marketing type KPIs for our PR work, and they're asking for the level of expertise you'd expect from a like mid-tier consulting firm from
Mm.
us. And they don't want to go out and hire, and I'm not going to name names, a consulting firm because it's too expensive, it takes time, and they can't do the work, at the end of the day, once they find the insight. So sort of for us, and I don't know that we planned this when Kelly and I set out 10.5 years ago, but it's played sort of right into our wheelhouse because with this integrated marketing and PR agency, we have all the tools. And it's like I said, it's not about the tools, it's about the strategy. And and we think more and more agencies need to solve real world problems for their clients, and we can't be just smooth talkers anymore, and I think that it's like not like Mad Men anymore. You actually have to have some real substance. You better have some data and things like that. And then, it's kind of the left brain, right brain thing. It's like you better have a full, complete brain somewhere on your team, and the people that can sort of back it up with the numbers.
That's interesting. I mean, I would say the big change I see is they kind of want one agency for their marketing and their PR. And maybe it goes to your point, which
Yeah,
is I just need to solve this problem.
right.
I don't care if you use PR, I don't care if you use marketing,
Yeah.
just figure out a way to solve it. But and it is interesting the merging of the metrics around it,
Mhm.
right? I think for a
Yeah,
long time, oh, we just need PR because we need PR.
right.
What are the metrics? And we'd use some share of voice or equivalent
Yeah,
ad numbers, but I
yeah,
think there is more of a demand for those metrics, right? and,
yeah.
and is that what you're seeing as well, that they want both? And or they just don't even care, is it PR or marketing? I don't care, I just want this problem solved.
Exactly. I think it's sort of led to a blending of you're right, they don't care about what tool you use. And it's been interesting. We just presented to a prospect this morning, and they literally said, I know we asked you for a PR proposal, but now that you've presented to us, we understand you have all these tools, you have digital marketing experts, you have analysts, you have consultants on staff. Um, can we shift some money over month to month from one to the other, based on what our needs are? And by the way, we don't know what our needs are for March yet or February. So, we're going to think
Exactly.
of it a month ahead of time, and we're going to ask you to do a talent shift for us. Can you do that? And our answer is always simply yes. I mean, for us, it's a bucket of hours. How you choose to use those as a client. We have the smorgasbord. We have all the SMEs in all the respective areas. And so we often use, like, there's a digital tool called SpyFu, and we can look at your competitors' websites and the top 10 keywords. How are they getting there organically? Is it paid? Our PR people find this incredibly valuable to look at, and see how they're driving the numbers for our clients and what the competitors are doing and how that's impacting their results too. Because again, it all rolls up to these sort of, marketing KPIs measuring PR activities. So, and we don't care who the tail is and who the dog is. We just want to help solve the problem.
Yeah, that's great. You mentioned about some of the changes in the PR landscape. I'd love to hear more about what you're seeing there. In a very cynical way, I hear people saying, "Is PR dead?" Right? And I think it is because of these changing models, the move to sponsored content, the death of many publications, et cetera, et cetera. Like, what sort of changes are you seeing in the PR landscape in healthcare technology?
Yeah, it's so funny, John. I remember there's a book in the early 2000s. It was called The Death of Marketing and the Rise of PR. I don't know if you read that one.
No, I haven't. That's interesting.
It's like you're saying, it's kind of like a pendulum shift, I think, that happens over the years and over the decades. So I think I'd start with there's many things that won't change in PR: credibility, trust, integrity, actually delivering news, and the art of telling a compelling story, sort of in a unique and interesting way. I think that's a skill that's timeless. And so there'll always be a job for people that can do that. But that being said, if you try to do that job the way you've always done it, you're probably going to be out of work in 3 years because it's not happening anymore the same way. So getting at those core fundamentals of PR. So that being said, the same factors that have made funding harder for healthcare startups have impacted PR agencies. So startups have a much harder burden of proof than ever before just to get $1 million funding, let alone 5 or 10. So just having a great story and saying, trust us, with a great CEO and a founding team, like look at the previous company I founded, it doesn't cut it anymore. It doesn't work. And agencies now, PR agencies, have to provide more evidence also of their success to those same startups because everyone's being pressed to provide more evidence. And we can't just say, we look at these journalists we have on our team, like look at the phenomenal things they've done for these publications in the past, leading publications. To be honest, a lot of journalists are out of work right now. And we've been like sort of hiring some of them as, 1099 contractors to help supplement our own team because they have phenomenal talent, but they're going to have to figure out somebody moved their cheese and they got to figure out how to get to the cheese again, and so we're in a way we're helping them find their way through the labyrinth of PR in the year 2024 and the future.
It's fascinating to think about that there's fewer journalists in health IT than there ever has been, fewer publications, but there's more content probably than there's ever been too, because it's so easy to publish content that
Yeah,
everyone becomes a journalist, if you will, obviously with different influence. So
right,
yeah, I mean it's a massive shift that's happening. The other shift that's happening is AI, of course. I don't think we could talk without some talk of AI. How
right.
are you all approaching AI? How do you think AI is going to impact healthcare marketing, PR professionals?
Well, there's no question it's transforming how we work. So it's changing the business of content, business communications, analysis, research, even design.
Hmm.
And we're fully embracing it. So Kelly and I, as the two owners of the company, use it constantly. I think it's up on my screen right now. It's probably up on Kelly's screen right now. And we're a part of the national and even the international debate about best practices, what's sustainable, what's going to happen in the future. I think the bottom line, though, again, just like PR, there are certain core fundamentals that won't change. And one of those is you cannot replace the human touch. And it's not about the tools. The tools will definitely change. But I think it's funny. I think actually it all comes down to attitude. And your attitude will determine your altitude, right? I mean, it's never been more true. So this attitude of adaptability, of curious fascination, like, gee, I wonder if AI could do this for me and help me do it faster and better. And just as the assembly line sped up automotive production, with the Model T. I mean, I'm from Detroit. I can't resist. I think AI is doing the same thing. It has sped up the development of content and ideas. And I think that's what we're seeing. It didn't Henry Ford didn't do away with jobs in the automotive sector. I mean, quite the opposite. It became a magnet for jobs in the decades that followed. I think the same thing is going to happen, but you need the pioneers to help make sense of it all. and provide a roadmap. And again, that labyrinth through which the mice can find the cheese.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, when I look at it, my biggest challenge with AI is remembering that that's an option. Like it's rewiring my
Yeah,
old systems of thinking to, oh, I could do it this way, or oh, like
yeah,
you said,
yeah,
maybe I should try AI on this,
right.
and see, right? And so rewiring that is it's harder than I think we want to admit.
I know. I just have to leave it on the screen. So it's a visual reminder that I should
Yeah,
be checking there.
that's a good hint.
Yeah.
How do you stay up on the latest marketing trends and what would you suggest to others in the community to consider doing? Or should we just ask AI and that
No,
does
I
it
think,
stay up? I don't know.
I got some, again, it goes back to like the human touch, right? So I think that I got some great advice when I was 23 years old. And one of the founders of BBDO was my boss, Mike Webster. And he said, Tim, you know what the number one thing you need to do to stay on top of all this is you need to read a lot. And I think so. Number one, I'd say read a lot. And I think number two is surround yourself with great people. And Kelly and I have been blessed to work with some of the greatest minds in healthcare over the past decades. And so whether we have clients coming into us who are, payers looking for data, curation, integrity, whether hospitals, revenue cycle management, genomics, life sciences, um, employee benefits, or like, hey, how do I get my next fundraise? It's kind of like the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you need to like phone a friend. We find that we phone a friend a lot, actually. And so like, yeah, I think to answer your question, we don't have to have all the information. We just need to know where to find the information. And so we belong to a ton of LinkedIn groups. Obviously, trade shows. We're going to the health conference, not to give them a plug, but they're a wonderful source of information, networking, connections, and the Swaay.Health community as well. In all transparency and honesty, it's been one of the great information sources for us over the past decade. And I say that with all sincerity.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's interesting when I first started writing Healthcare IT Today, right, and became a blogger, I read something that said, if you want to be a great writer, you have to be a great reader. And
Right.
I would actually,
Yeah.
even extend that to say, if you want to be a great thinker, you need to be a great reader. And I
Yeah.
kind of look as reading as the raw materials we use to produce whatever output we do. And if we haven't read enough, then we don't have enough raw materials to help
Right.
us be creative or to apply lots of things we learned. So I love that. And of course, people, right? Turns out
Yeah.
it's not like who wants to be a millionaire. You can phone a friend as many times as you want, right? Like,
Exactly right. Exactly.
there's no limit.
I know when I spoke at your conference this past spring, people thought it was funny that I went to the library to actually prepare for the presentation about what the millennials might want in the workforce. And but for me, that was a trigger of ideas, and I wasn't just like pulling books off the shelves. I was doing online searches as well. But certainly it goes back to the idea of reading and continuous learning and I think that's what's accelerating not only the content but the need. Now all the tools are there for you to learn faster, so people have to learn faster.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's a library, Tim? I'm just kidding. No, you're right.
Well,
I mean, I think
yeah,
that idea of going to learn and to allow yourself the time to learn, right? I think that's what
right,
a lot of people
exactly.
are missing as well.
Yeah, probably just getting away from the hotel lobby is what I needed to do. So yeah.
That's true. Tim, it was great to chat with you, and congratulations on winning the Swaay.Health Agency of the Year award. I appreciate you being part of the community and supporting us, as a sponsor of the conference and and many of the things we do. So I'm so grateful for you and your organization and the time you do to contribute to the community and to connect with other peers and share your knowledge with them. So appreciate it, and thanks so much, and thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare and marketing content like this, be sure to go and check it out at Swaay. That's Swaay with two A's, .health. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, John.